Some people have an unhealthy addiction to drugs and alcohol, but for me, I had an unhealthy addiction to Rock Band 2. I used to live and breathe this game as a kid, and the intro cinematic for Rock Band 2 has always been one of my favorite gaming intro cinematics of all time, just for how over the top and wild it is. Rock Band 1's was really cool because, it was a band playing Highway Star by Deep Purple on top of a van. But Rock Band 2 really kicked that idea up a notch by having a battle of the bands where the two bands were doing Hello There by Cheap Trick. It was just so badass to me as a kid. These games also hold a lot of sentimental value to me because they really helped me expand my horizons when it came to my preferred genres of music. Growing up, my parents were always very into country and Jimmy Buffett, and I just could not take it anymore. It was driving me insane. And Rock Band 2 and all the Rock Band games really just opened up my eyes to the world of different genres of music. Now, Rock Band 2 definitely has the best soundtrack out of all of them, but, like I said, I lived and breathed this game, so I'm a bit biased. I actually got rid of all the instruments of the game, sadly, so, I'd have to fork over a bunch of money in order to play it again. But for some reason, I never got rid of the microphone, which is weird because whenever I played the game, I always wanted to play the drums, and I never really wanted to do singing that much. But now that we're in the present day, it's actually the exact opposite. When I was in college getting my degree in music education, my primary instrument was actually voice, and drums actually became kind of a side hobby for me. But, since we're all in quarantine, I've been wanting to try and figure out new things that I can do, and one of the things that I wanted to try and do was, start recording music just for fun. And unfortunately, I'm not as knowledgeable in the world of music technology as I'd like to be, but something that I've always kind of been wondering is how effective is a Rock Band microphone when recording a drum kit? Now, looking at this microphone, it's a Logitech USB microphone, so it just plugs right into your computer, and it's easily recognized. You don't need to plug it into an interface or anything. Unfortunately, the specs for this microphone are nowhere to be found, but from using it a little bit, it does appear to be some kind of cardioid microphone, meaning that it picks up the most frequencies when used right in front of you, while picking up less frequencies when going around it. So I'll give you a little example. I'm gonna take this off. So you're hearing me from the front of the microphone right now, but as I start to move it around in a circle, you can see that you can't really hear me quite as well. And then we're going to come back around to right in front of me. So for this video, I'm going to be conducting a few experiments. I'm going to be placing the Rock Band mic right in front of my porthole on my kick drum, above my snare drum, above all of my toms, so in between my 2 floor toms and my 3 rack toms. I don't know how the hell I'm going to do that. And then 4 feet away from the entire kit with varying heights. I'm going to have it at the lowest it can go, a relatively medium height, and then the highest that I can get the mic to go. I'm going to be using Soundtrap to record as well because at the school that I teach at, I've been teaching a small class about it, so, I'm already using it relatively a lot. And also, I should probably go over the kit before I do anything because it's kind of a doozy. The initial kit is a Pearl reference, I believe. I bought the kit over a decade ago, and I bought it used, so I can't quite remember what exactly it is, but when I put in the serial number on my drums, that's what came up. It has a 14-inch snare drum, 12 and 13-inch toms, a 16-inch floor tom, and a 22-inch kick drum. Also, if you're wondering about what I did to my kick drum skin, it's a felt that I glued on, and I got the idea from R. David R. But of course, as you can see, that's not everything I use on my kit. Now, this might piss off some drummers, but I do use other brand drums because I just happened to come across them, and the wraps just worked perfectly with what I have going on. I also use a 10-inch Tama Rockstar DX, which my dad found at the Savers store by me, and a 15-inch sound percussion floor tom that I got after buying a Revere drum kit from a guy for $60. I couldn't find the serial number or anything on that drum, so I only know the brand. I also have a 20-inch Igniter percussion kick drum that my dad and I found thrown out, but I don't have that added to my kit at the moment. I also had a 16-inch Yamaha floor tom that I converted into a snare drum. I'm currently using Evans EC2s for the toms, a reverse power dot for the snare, Evans EMAD 2s for the kick drums, and the reso heads are just kind of scattered all over the place because they're just whatever I had lying around. For cymbals, I'm using 14-inch Zildjian ZXTs. For the crashes, I have a 18-inch Zildjian S-Series medium thin crash, and an 18-inch crash cymbal from Walmart that's more like 17 inches and sounds more like a 10-inch splash cymbal. For the ride cymbal, I'm using a 20-inch Zildjian S-Series rock crash, and I have an 18-inch Zildjian ZXT stacked on top of a 20-inch Zildjian ZXT ride cymbal that I also drilled holes in. You can see that I get a lot of my ideas for what I want to do with my drums from R. David R. I should also mention that the sound might come off as a bit echoey, but that's because, you know, my kit is in my basement and I don't have it soundproofed because I'm too poor. I'm going to try and do as little mixing as possible so that you can really hear how well or how terribly the microphone reacts to the drums. And also, as a little bonus, I'll even test out my microphone on my Meinl Cajon. And, we'll see how that goes. But let's start off with the kick drum. So ultimately, I'm kind of torn on how I feel with the Rock Band microphone, because definitely at its worst was when I had it next to the snare drum and inside the portholes of the kick drum and the cajon. Now that might have just been because I had them way too close, but I don't really think that it would have made that much of a difference if I moved them back just a tiny bit farther. However, I was kind of surprised at how well, actually, it kind of picked up the toms and the floor toms. They actually sounded kind of decent in my opinion. Even the cymbals, they sounded pretty good. And, you know, putting it 4 feet away definitely helped. That is definitely the most optimal thing to do if you're using this in a recording session. But, you know, all three of the different heights that I used, low, medium, and high, were all pretty good. Personally, I kind of liked the medium and low heights better because I like to have that lower frequency. But, you know, even the higher frequencies at the higher height was pretty good too. And this is for a basement that is not soundproofed at all. But with that being said, if you guys do have a soundproofed room that your drum kit is in and you want to try using a Rock Band microphone, let me know what you think. I'm totally interested in seeing how much of a difference it makes. Would I recommend this microphone? No. I would only really recommend it if you're really low on money and this is the only thing that you can really afford. But honestly, this thing is also pretty decent at picking up audio. This is the microphone that I've been using for the entire video, and it's pretty good. You know, I'm still gonna prefer my Blue Snowball, but you know, if I only had $15 and this was the only thing I could afford, I'd get it. I'd say it's pretty good. But of course, there are better options out there. So, let me know what you guys think. What height did you think sounded the best? Lowest, middle, or high? I'd love to hear from you guys. If you enjoyed that, be sure to leave a comment down below, hit that like button, and hit the subscribe button. I'm actually kind of considering doing a bit of a change on my channel. So, as you guys know, I majored in music education in college, and I kind of want to start doing more music-based stuff on my channel. I already have a few videos in the works, this being one of them, but I have 2 other video ideas that I'd like to do, so hopefully you guys are just as excited for it as I am. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.